Hi, this is a video on the products that I found most useful during the first 5 months of my baby's life and the products that I regret buying or that I wouldn't buy again. This is obviously going to be quite a personal topic to me. Everyone's opinion on this might be different, but if there is anything that I've missed out that you think is a must-have or that you regret buying, do feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to see what you guys think as well. One of the products that we use every single day without fail is the Baby Elegant Smash high chair. I saw this advertised on Instagram and it is basically a normal high chair so that when he gets a bit older he can sit in the chair and he can get weaned and that kind of stuff. But from a newborn there's a little seat that they can sit in as well. It's kind of like laid flat-ish. So from about 2 weeks old, because he was quite small, we were able to put him in that. And it's just really useful because when we're sat at the dinner table having dinner, he can sit alongside us. So it kind of sets that routine from the beginning. And also because we have a dog, we didn't really want him sat on the floor or anything like that in the short carriers that you've got. Or short seats, I should say. So yeah, we use that every day when I'm making, because I pump, when I'm making him a bottle of breast milk, I can sit him in it. He can kind of see me set up in the kitchen. We can move it to different rooms. We took it to my mother-in-law's house at Christmas. So yeah, without a doubt, that's been one of the best purchases for us. He's not yet sat in the high chair part because he's obviously still too small and he's not weaning just yet. But it looks like it'll be a good high chair when it comes to that as well. One thing that I've used almost daily since baby was born is the Ergo Baby Omni 360 carrier. I use that considerably more than I've used the pram. I've barely used the pram at all in comparison to the Ergo Baby. Again, I had to wait until it was a little bit bigger to use it. So I think it's £7 the minimum weight is for the Ergo Baby carrier. But during the first couple of weeks, I didn't really leave the house anyway. But I would say it's definitely worthwhile investing in a good carrier. Depending on whereabouts you are, you might have, I think they're called baby sling libraries or something like that. You might have them nearby. So you can actually go and try out lots of different slings and see what works best for you. I do kind of wish I had one of the wraps that is made out of fabric, but I never actually bought one. So I just used this carrier. But I did really, really think that carrier was really useful and I would definitely buy one again. Before the baby was born, I had a little kind of care kit that had a nail file, a nasal aspirator, a hairbrush, that kind of stuff in. But the nail file, I don't know if you've ever, for those of you who may have had babies before, it's really hard to file the nails. So very quickly we ended up buying a electric nail file. Ours is Tommy TP. And that is really, really useful. And it just makes filing nails a lot easier. We still have to file nails at least twice a week because they're literally like claws, as I'm sure some of you will probably know. So it's worth investing in a good nail file. It doesn't have to be electric, but yeah, we found that really useful and we've definitely put it on our must-buy list. One thing that I wasn't really prepared for that I had to go and buy was quite a lot of dribble bibs. Dribbling started a lot earlier than I thought, and so did teething, although not actually coming through, just at the start of being uncomfortable. So yeah, dribble bibs were really, really useful. Now he's about 4 or 5 months old. We have to change it multiple times a day. You can also get towel-backed ones, or you can get plastic-backed ones, depending on how bad the dribble situation is. But yeah, that's something that I didn't think we'd need so early, but we definitely ended up needing quite soon. For nighttime, we have the Dream Egg portable white noise machine. And not only does that play white noise in order to, help shush your baby, it also has lullabies as well. And it's got a light in there, so you can have different lights during the night as well, which is really useful. We've used that from day one. So from day one, we played Go to Sleep as a lullaby and we had the red light on at night. And if you woke up at night, instead of turning on the big light, we just have the little red light on next to him. And I think that might have helped kind of set the scene for sleep. So he knows that nighttime is nighttime, the daytime is daytime. I have read online, and I don't know how true this is, that the red light helps simulate what they were used to in the womb a little bit more. I don't know if that's true or just a load of nonsense. But I have found that really useful. And I think when he goes to bed, he recognises now that that's bedtime. So that's been invaluable for us in terms of getting him to bed and just having a nice nighttime routine and environment. And lastly, in terms of definitely would buy again, this might depend on how you're feeding, but it would be a Newbie Rapid Cool. And I know Tommy TP do a similar product. Because when exclusively pumping, but we also give him a bottle of formula at night time if he wakes up in the night. And it just makes making formula so much easier. I remember the first time that we ever came to make a bottle of formula, we were kind of looking at the instructions, and you have to boil the kettle, wait half an hour, then pour out the drink and then wait again. And we were like, gosh, it can't be that difficult to make a bottle of formula. So I already had some Newbie Rapid Cool, so we use them, and they are great. It just, you put in all of your water and the scoops of powder that you need, give it a shake with the lid on, and within a couple of minutes it's cooled it down to drinkable temperature. I don't know how it works, it's magic as far as I'm concerned, but yeah, especially at night time or if you're out and about, really, really useful. So yeah, it's the Newbie Rapid Cool that we have, but I know that a few different companies have a similar product. In terms of what I wouldn't buy again, there are definitely some products which I regret buying and some that I sold quite quickly that I realised that I didn't really need. So one of the first ones is and this might be a little bit controversial actually, is the Tommy TP nappy bin. And it didn't matter how often we changed it, how often we took all the nappies out and put them in the bin outside, it absolutely stank. Like, we used to call it the toxic waste bin because it was just awful. And it wasn't even that we had like pooey nappies in there. At night time it was just wee, so it was just that was absolutely stinking the place out. But apparently it's designed so that the way that it shuts, it keeps the smell in, but it absolutely did not work. It perhaps worked for maybe the first week that we had it, we would change it kind of every other day. Then it started stinking, so we were like, right, let's change this daily because this is terrible. But even when we changed it every single day, it still just stank, and we properly cleaned it out. But as soon as you had one nappy in it, it was just terrible. So yeah, we scrapped that quite quickly. I think we only used it for maybe about a month, maybe even less. Before the baby arrived, we also had a baby nest, which is kind of a little pillow type product that they can lie in, and it's got mesh on the side so it's apparently breathable. They're not actually recommended by the NHS, but I saw loads of people recommended them, so I got one. And we just never really used it, probably because we had that MASH high chair that I was talking about earlier. But yeah, I kind of put it on the sofa, and most sofas, or our sofa anyway, was kind of slanted, so baby would kind of roll into the side, which I didn't really like. And because I have a dog, I didn't want to put him on the floor. So it just became a product that we never used and didn't really need. So that got sold on Vinted. I think he was only ever in it once, maybe twice at that. But yeah, it was just a bit unnecessary. And I think luckily for us, he slept quite well in his next to me crib. He didn't kind of need to be that enclosed. I think that's where a lot of people use it. So it's one of those products that potentially might be really useful for you. But what I would say is maybe wait until baby's born and see whether it's potentially something they would need, because I know a lot of babies quite like to be enclosed. So this might be another controversial one, but what I wouldn't do again without a doubt is spend lots of money on a pram with the kind of bassinet attachment. And the reason for that is, again, because I use the baby carrier so much more. It's so much more convenient when you're out and about. If I'm going for dog walks, that type of thing, it's just easier to have him attached to me. So yeah, I have used it obviously. So if I've been shopping, for example, in a clothes shop more than a food shop, I would potentially use it there, but I could have easily have barely used it. Luckily as well, what I did do, that I also recommend, is I bought a second-hand pram that had been refurbished, so it's an egg too. So it wasn't like I spent loads of money on it, but had I known how little I would use it, especially the little bassinet part, I probably wouldn't have spent as much as I did on one. And then as he's got a bit older, because the egg 2 frame is, or chassis, whatever you call it, is actually quite big and chunky, we've actually ended up buying a travel pram because we are going to take him abroad soon. And that's so much lighter, and it folds down a lot smaller, and it goes on the airplane. So yeah, I don't regret necessarily buying it, but if I was to do it again, I would buy a cheaper one, and I wouldn't put as much time and effort into worrying about what type of pram to get, because I would know that, yeah, I'm just going to end up carrying them instead. I'll probably end up doing a video on my breastfeeding journey and just talking about breastfeeding in general. And what leads into that is I wouldn't buy a breastfeeding pillow without knowing whether or not I'm going to be able to breastfeed first and foremost. I had it on my baby wish list, so obviously it got bought for me, and I'm really grateful for that, and it is absolutely lovely, and I did try it out for a while. But because my baby just pretty much refused to breastfeed, I've just never really used it. I did give it a go for maybe a couple of weeks when I was trying to breastfeed and trying to get that routine set in. But yeah, since then, as I've not breastfed, I've just not used it. But obviously, yeah, if you want to breastfeed, they are really useful because it kind of props it up and it relieves your arms a little bit. But it depends. I don't think many people have breastfeeding journeys like me, but for me personally, that was something that I just didn't really need. That was a hopeful purchase, definitely. And lastly, in terms of products that I regret buying or that I wouldn't buy again, is a tummy time pillow for baby. And they are just a little round pillow, in my case, it goes around the tummy, and it means they can prop themselves up during tummy time. And the reason that I wouldn't buy that again is because, one, I didn't really use it that much. I just put him on his belly normally, and he could like lift himself up and that kind of thing. But also, when I did use it to kind of help prop him up and kind of encourage him to lift his head a little bit more, I could have so easily have just used a towel or a little blanket or anything and pop that under him, and you'll probably already have those in, so you don't have to buy anything specifically. But in terms of the tummy time pillow, it doesn't actually offer anything more than just rolling up a blanket and putting that under them. So it's a bit, in my opinion, for me, it was a bit of a waste of money and not something that I would buy again. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you found this video useful. If you do like these type of videos, please let me know by just giving me a little subscribe. I'm hoping to do a few more of these over time. Thank you.